In this lesson, we're going to be looking at algebra using variables and expressions. So, our essential question, how can it be helpful to write numbers in different ways? The vocabulary for this lesson is algebra, variable, algebraic expression, and evaluate. And as you listen through this, I may say the definitions to those vocabulary concepts. If not, we will take a look at them in class. So first, let's take a look at this expression right here. Okay, n plus 2. First of all, why is there a letter? Why is there an operation symbol and why is there a number? Well, in algebra, it's considered a language of symbols, including variables. And that letter n right there is a variable, which is a symbol, usually a letter, used to represent a number, an unknown number that somebody somewhere tells us or we have to find out. Okay, so this n plus 2 would be considered an algebraic expression. It contains at least one variable, which is a letter, and one operation, which is right here. We don't know what n is currently, so we can't solve it, but it is an algebraic expression because it has a variable and at least one operation. Okay, let's take a look down here. The letter of x is often used as a variable. Now you will see, till you don't see algebra anymore, letter x is the most common variable you will find, which is kind of funny because doesn't x represent multiplication as well? It sure does. So to avoid confusion with the symbol x, mathematicians have decided there are other ways to show multiplication. If you take one here, 5 times x with a dot. A dot also represents multiplication. 5 parentheses x also represents multiplication. Parentheses represent multiplication. So this also reads 5 times x. And the last way we can look at it is 5x. So there's no spaces in between the letter and the variable, or the variable which is letter and the number, but it also reads the same. So it would be 5x. So it's 5 times x. Okay? So those are 3 very important things you need to remember when you start learning more about algebra. That there are several different ways to write multiplication. So when you see them, don't stop in your tracks and say, wait, what does this mean? Recall what I just told you about, and you will be able to sail free and solve these algebraic expressions. Let's take a look at our first one. It says evaluate 16 plus b if b equals 25. First of all, what does evaluate mean? In algebra, evaluate means to find the value of, okay? So to find the value of this algebraic expression, which is right here, 16 plus b. Okay? They are telling us what our variable equals, which is right here. So they're telling us b is 25. What we need to do is we need to take this information, that b equals 25, and replace it for the b. So how that would look is we will put in the number, the value that they're telling us b is. So we would rewrite it as 16 plus 25 because they told us what b equals. So what is 16 plus 25, people? It is 41. So our answer would be 41. And what I'm going to be looking at when we practice these is, first of all, did you write it correctly? Did you fill in the correct value for your variable? Okay? And then, of course, did you get the correct answer? Let's take a look at another one. We're going to evaluate 6x if x is 3. All right, 6 and the letter x next to it. There's nothing in between. What does that tell us? We have to do. That's right, we have to multiply. So we're going to rewrite the first part of our expression there And since x is 3, I'm going to rewrite it like this for today. So it will be 6 times 3, which is what, people? 18. So what I'm looking for is, did you substitute correctly, that's what we're doing. I forgot to mention that earlier. Did we put in the right value, and did we get the correct answer? Okay? Now let's make it a little more challenging. We're going to evaluate multi-step expressions, meaning we're going to have to put in potentially more than one value for a variable, or we're going to have to do 2 operations within our expression. Okay? So how we're going to do that is we're going to put the correct variable in, and then we're going to follow that order of operations, which is very important when we're working with algebra. Algebra pretty much is the order of operations, pretty much most of the time, and you're never going to forget about that. So first we want to evaluate 5t plus 4t equals 3. So 5t. Oh, what does that mean again? Multiplication. I'm going to show with the dot this time. So t equals 3. So I'm going to plug in 3 for t. And I'm going to make sure I have the rest of my expression there. All right, so I'm going to write my cheat word for the order of operations, PEMDAS. All right. Do I have any parentheses in this expression? No, I don't. Do I have any exponents? Definitely not. Do I have multiplication or division? I sure do. I have multiplication. So I'm going to cross it out. First, I'm going to do 5 times 3, because remember, we have to work left to right. So 5 times 3 is 15. Bring everything else down. I don't have any division. All right, do I have addition or subtraction? I sure do. 15 plus 4 equals 19. So that is the value of this expression when t equals 3. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and let you get started on your own here with these guided expressions. I'm going to go ahead and make it a little larger so you can see these expressions closer up. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to evaluate each expression if b equals 6 and a equals 4. So for each of these expressions, you're going to plug in the correct value for each variable, and then you're going to solve to get a correct answer for these expressions. Okay? Remember, what you can do as you're watching these videos is to write down any questions you may have as you go through these. These are at a faster pace, but the great thing about a video, as you know, is you can pause it and